All right, so I'm getting ready for my podcast that I have this evening. Let me put this mic on. Podcast at 1. It is 10:45. So I'm going to go early because I want to make sure that I'm set up. But I know a lot of people that ask me about, what I use and blah, blah, blah. So one of my mics, or two mics, I have the MV7 podcast microphone. I have two of these. I have them on arms like this. I just didn't put the second one on yet. I'm going to have two FX3s. Put that in the bag now. One there. And one here. I'm only going to do a 2-camera setup. So because of that, I'm going to have one 50 mil. That is 1.2. And then my other 50 mil, this one is the 1.4. I would have just got two of these, but it was only this one that, they had out. Bring my head, 2 cameras, 2 mics. I have my DJI mics so that I can plug it into my switcher because the switcher doesn't have direct audio. But I'm going to use this ATEM Mini Pro ISO for my 2-camera setup. And then I have this broadcast monitor so that I'm able to see the clips as I'm recording. Now for this switcher, I have this 2 terabyte SanDisk hard drive. I can plug it right into the back right here so that it'll record directly onto the hard drive. Then when I'm done here, I'll be able to plug this hard drive into my computer, open DaVinci, and the whole timeline will already be done. So it kind of eliminates all of the hard work that I'd have to do later on. Now, if you are going to get this switcher, I do recommend that you do get a hard drive. Don't get the switcher just to have a switcher, because I did that. I got this without a hard drive, and it was cool to be able to show my clients on a monitor what they look like and everything. But you still have to go back to your computer and do all of the cutting. And that's just a long way of doing things. So this is going to be my setup for right now. So I'm about to head over there a little early so I can set it up so it can all be ready. And yeah, get this podcast done. All right, one thing I forgot is for the FX3s, the reason I'm bringing the FX3s is because I can use this top handle. And the top handle has the XLR ports here at the top. So I'm able to connect these microphones directly to one FX3 each. So that way I know for sure whoever has their camera has their direct audio. And then of course I'll be recording on the DJI mics as well. I always do that for a backup. And good thing I use those for a backup, because there was one time where the audio from the direct mic of one of the podcasters was super, super scratchy. I'm not sure what that was. I'm guessing it was a faulty XLR cable. But yeah, as I was filming or as I was editing, I could just hear it. So I was able to take the external recording directly from the DJI mic and just replace it. And it saved me so much headache. So always try to get multiple backup audios. That was the story of that. We are here on site. There was one other thing I forgot to mention that I bring with me when I'm filming podcasts, and that is this EcoFlow power box. I always bring it because there have been times when I am filming a podcast and there's no power outlets close by, at least like in a range where will make it very useful. So having that actually changed a lot for me. So I'd recommend getting one. You just never know when it'll come in. Two tripods. Got my lantern. I'm only going to use one light source to put it between the ladies because they're sitting across from each other. So as long as I put the lantern directly in the middle, I'll be fine. C-stand. for the monitor. My sandbag to hold it down. Microphones. Yeah, it takes a lot to do a podcast, man, but if you are able to and charge anywhere from like $800 and up, depending on your market. Would I say it keeps me busy? No, because I still feel like I haven't found my the group of realtors that take social media as serious as they should. Like, it's almost, they have to be mentally an influencer in order to like realize how powerful them being on social media can be. Am I close? I think, but I'm not there yet. Yeah. Sorry, holding all this stuff is throwing me off. I do work with some realtors who kind of understand it in a way, but in its entirety, definitely not. So hopefully I get some of that so I can do more podcasts. I actually enjoy doing them.
So how do you stand out as a videographer? For me, just being able to like see your work, see you in action working, like that's what stood out for me when I first saw you. Okay. Like I started seeing you a lot of places and then when I saw like your work being posted on social media, that's what made me like gravitate to you. And then, you know, of course you did like my first little intro video when I came. Yeah. So that, you know, all of that stuff, you know, stood out to me. For pricing, for me, I mean, like, you know, if I needed videos for, say, my $1 million property, right. If I need videos, I need drone, I need photos, and all the nine. If you told me, oh, that's only $200, I would be like, wait, what? Let me look at your portfolio. Okay. Can I see what your videos look like and your pictures look like? If you told me that's going to cost me like $800 or $900, that would probably be more in line with what I would expect to spend for all of those things. Like if you're doing drone, you're doing Matterport, you're doing the video for me, you know, the intro video, you're doing the still shots and all of that. Okay. So, I mean, cheaper is always nicer. $500-$600 is great, but if you told me it was $900 and I loved your work, I would still pay it. Okay. In order to contact me and let me know that you want to work with me, I think the best thing you could do is to send me your work. Like email me, text me, say, hey, can you check out my website? Can you check out, you know, I would love to work with you. If you are, you know, looking for somebody in the videography space and the, you know, filming space, this is, you know, my portfolio. Check it out on my website. That would give me, you know, the time to check it out when I'm ready and when I'm available. And then, this is how you reach out to me. So I wouldn't say like cold call people and, blow up. Like, don't email me because it's just going to go in, it may go into spam, it may go into promotions, it may go into all kinds of different parts of my Gmail. So I would say DM me through social media, or if you can find my phone number, text me.
So I think that how a videographer can stand out when they want to work with realtors is, for me, it's like your editing. I really like a video that is going to attract that stop scroll on Instagram. So I don't like those traditional videos where the realtor just, hey, welcome to 123 Main Street. Come on in. Like, everyone does that. It's, oh, we know you got a listing. Okay, the house is nice. Like you want to create content that, like, boom, it's gonna get you the most reach. It's really gonna push your content to more people so that you can sell the house. So I love videos when I see some very nice editing. Like, I want to see some motion blur. Sim, no, I asked them about, I want to see that text behind the head because I cannot figure out how to do that. If I figure out how to do that myself,
I can show you.
I want to learn how to do that so bad. So I like when it's like cuts and it's like you're out and then you go in. I don't know what any of this is called, but you know what I'm saying. Like, it has to have that stop scrolling effect, and stuff just not being traditional. And so, like, a traditional walkthrough video, encourage the realtor to do something different or whatever. Just creativity. Okay. But that 123 Main Street, come on in, is over with. Yeah, direct me. Yeah. So that's question number 1. Question number 2, what's too high, too low? And it was specific to $1 million listing, not regular.
I wouldn't say always $1 million, but what's your average?
Okay.
For your listings? What would be too high, too low for that? Let me get more specific.
Yeah, give me more specific.
Video, photos, and a video, like an intro video where you're actually in it. So
okay.
One for MLS, photos, and then one video for you.
Social media.
Right.
Okay, that's a good package. Okay. Too low is definitely anything under like $200-300 for that. I'm just like, I don't know. I don't know anybody that would do it for that, but that's just kind of like, I'm not really going to take you serious that I'm going to get really good content for that price. Okay. Now, listing photos only, I can see that. Somewhere around 200 or something like 200-300. That's fine, especially if it's a bigger property. Right. But I think somewhere, I've seen people come in that $1,000 range. For me, anywhere between like that $450 to $1,000 is like, okay, cool. I know I'm working with a professional. I'm going to get everything I'm looking for, and that package you just put together, like, that's a nice package.
So over $1,000 is too high
for me, unless. Because I like to bargain. So if we want to be like, say I got a fire listing, like, and I'm pulling out all the stops, like, work with me and I'll work with you. So what I think would be cool, and what I know some photographers that do in the Midwest, they'll have a booking price, and then at closing they also have you pay them again. So I like that, me personally, because, okay, yeah, I'm paying you for your time. You came out, here's half, and then you get the other half at closing. Because realtors, we don't get paid until closing. Right. So I think for you guys, being in a service business, carry that debt until they sell and charge a higher price. I might adopt that. Get with me on the business side.
Yeah. And how would somebody approach you if they wanted to work with you? Like, what's a good way?
I've had... a lot of people reach out to me, and a few people stood out because they offered to do something for free. They offered to, when you have another listing, I'll give you some photos or something like that. I thought that was really cool. People like free stuff. So free, or, hey, your first photo shoot or your first video half off. That's a great way to lock in people and to just get a new client you wouldn't have otherwise. Because you never know with a realtor. Like, I know we look like we make a lot of money, but we can go a month or two without making any money. But then we get this listing and we got to spend money. Right. So if you think about it, if you always put yourself in the customer's shoes, those are the shoes we're in sometimes. So I think if you can do that, you'll always have business.
All right, so we're back in the office. I just got here, exported the footage, and like I said, it was just, so it's this program, this with the little Da Vinci sign next to it, is my timeline with all the cuts that I made. So I clicked on that, I just double clicked on it and opened it up, and it already had all the cuts already pre-made. I'm starting to line up the audio with what I had. This is pretty much, this timeline is the DJI mics that I had near the audio I was collecting. and everything turned out nice, and it was simple. Like, I've been home for maybe 15 minutes, and I'm just kind of scrubbing through it just to make sure that everything is good, that the audio sounds fine. We were filming in a building where they had a meeting, so people were in the background talking. You can kind of hear it a little bit, but speaking to her, she doesn't mind at all. So just kind of looks like they were doing business in a building that they were doing business. So it's not distracting or anything like that. I'm glad I have easygoing clients like this, because you won't always have it. But just make sure you're telling them the situation. Like, hey, you know, I can hear ambient noise in the background. Your voice is a lot more prominent because the microphone is right near your mouth. But just let you know, if you hear ambient noise in the background, it's probably because those people were moving about. But yeah, I'm getting ready to deliver this to her, and it only took me, outside of the actual editing and setup, I mean, what, 20 minutes once I'm in my post-production. So this is my podcast setup. If you guys were interested in getting it yourself, I already gave you all the details earlier. But yeah, I mean, this is what I do. But thanks for watching. If you have any more questions, of course, write it down below. And if you're new to the channel, welcome. Feel free to like, subscribe, all that good stuff. And I'll see you guys in the next one.